Today, 60-minute flow. We're starting with an exploration of our bones, or this is going to be accompanying us throughout the practice today. And with the bones, the wisdom and silence that they bring. You can start in any seated pose that you like, maybe on your heels or cross-legged. For a moment of orientation, for a moment of arriving. See if you first can close your eyes. Close your eyes and see if you can send the senses to everything outward, your skin, the noises that you perceive, the music, my voice, the most obvious ones, but also start to tune in into the more silent noises between. Maybe whatever you sense against your skin, your clothes, your mat, the temperature of the room. See if you can tune into the sight you still have beneath your closed eyelids. And then open your eyes very slowly and gently, softly, maybe only peeking through a little slit. And take in your environment, your surroundings, without naming objects, without focusing in on any given point in the room. Let the breath draw attention to everything around you and within you. And then close your eyes again. And from here, start to sense whatever is beneath your skin. Starting to turn off the environment and focusing in on everything that is you. If you are drawing attention through your body, where does your attention land first? And can you use this as an anchor point to ripple your breath and your awareness from there throughout your being? Start to become aware of the bones that make your physical structure. The most rigid part of our body is the bones, yet they have a sense of pliability, of flexibility. And they are very much alive. They are the source of information. From the bones, the information travels through to the muscles, which conduct the movement that we take. And from there, they come into the fluid body, rippling out to your skin and into your brain through the spinal fluid along your spine. See if you can become aware of all bones in your body. I think there's around 206 bones in our body. And see if you can permeate through all the other layers to start to notice those bones. From this stillness, we start to move, and we will return to moments of stillness to conduct cycles of arising, maintaining, and returning. Your center bone in the body is your spine, and see if this spine can conduct the movements out into all the other bones. So from here, start to gently lift your palms forward like you want to give a gift to somebody. And just observe the small movements happening that ripple from this small lifting of your palms. Keep visualizing the bones, how they move, and then from the center body, from this spine, lift your arms over the head, palms pointing backward to inhale, you long and strong. And exhale, drop the arms outside of you, next to your hips. Blink your eyes open to soften your gaze again into the room, staying with the sensation on the music and your bones. Inhale to lift the sternum high. See how this movement comes from the density of your spine and its pliability. And send the chest forward, arching into a very gentle arch here. Maybe your hands curl back for a deeper sensation, depending on wherever you are at. And release, bring the arms out to the side and forward to interlace them into a Garudasana, into an eagle shape. Whichever they fold for you. I'm not going to tell you right or left. Let the bones direct the movement. Inhale to lift. And exhale to curl. Becoming so aware of the slow movements in your spine. Maybe you want to slow down even more. We usually do this faster. See if you can slow it down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, coil, curl forwards. For our sense of value and our core values, the bones is where the wisdom of the ancient sits. And if we start to tune into how they speak through the rest of our body, maybe we can harvest some of that most embodied sense of information. The last two curls here, moving, connecting with your breath. And then with the next exhale, release the mind, coming back into a moment of stillness. Let it end, let it all drop off. Or see how it ends for you. There will be moments of more silence than we usually have. To observe this ending of a sequence, of a movement, of a breath. Good. Again, bring the hands next to you. If you're in cross-legged, you might want to try this in the seated position on your heels. Or if it feels right to you in cross-legged, you can stay there. Inhale again to lift, curl the hands backward. It works in both poses. Maybe the arch gets bigger this time to draw your shoulder blades together, these flat bones in the back of your back. And inhale to come back forward, lift the arms and find your other expression of Garudasana. inhale, start moving when it feels right to you. If you need more stillness and arriving in this next pose, you can honor that. Good. Let it ripple from this most primordial source of wisdom, your spine, throughout into the limbs, whatever you do. And the limbs are not only arms and legs, they are complemented by your tailbone and your head, making you essentially a starfish with 6 limbs. Last one to lift if you are here with me. And then from there, find your own way to an ending, dropping out of this pose, coming into a moment of stillness. And if you want to rest in longer stillness to arrive back into a sense of your skeleton, your bones, stay there. And eventually you can meet me in a forward fold. So in whichever way feels right to you and whichever movements need to come along, you can make your way to a forward fold in Uttanasana. And when you arrived here, see if your hands can land on the floor by you bending the knees generously. Draw your thigh bones into your chest. And from there lift into a half forward fold gently. Maybe hands come onto the shins, lengthening into all directions. And exhale to fold again. Plant the hands. And step back into a tabletop. So knees come down, hands are on the floor. Exhale to take a cat pose. Inhale for cow. Again, flow with these sensations rippling from this spinal fluid at the center of your spine. And next time you're in cow pose, sit back onto your heels. Good. Arms are in front of you, and then lengthen the hips up, starting to come into a very gentle downward facing dog. Inhale to come into your alignment for this downward dog. As unique as our bones and skeletons are, our alignment is unique. Look forward between the hands and slowly step your way to come back into a forward fold. Good. We're starting with very slow sequences and we'll pick up speed and see if this can become an ending again. So you're ready for the next sequence. Good. Find your way into a forward fold, maybe hands, half forward fold, hands on your shins, or they can come over your head to reach you longer, make the bones into a bigger shape. Good. Exhale to fold back forward. And this time we're including a standing pose, so come up into standing in your own way. Nice. And connect to gravity. Bones are the ones that are heavily grounding us. So see if you can sense where in your body your sense of gravity sits at the moment. Where the center of gravity is closing the eyes in Tadasana or hands at heart center or wherever they come for you. Inhale and exhale to fold. Plant the hands and step into your tabletop. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Let the movement wander through your entire spine, sending the chest through. Explore your own alignment in this pose, how deep your spine will take you. And next time you're in cow, sit back onto the heels. Maybe you keep the toes tucked if you like. And from this crouching pose, we just lift the knees off the mat to start to work into the thighs, to transmit the tension from the bones out into the muscles. And then lift up into your downward facing dog. Good. Lengthen, breathe, settle, and then look forward between the hands. Step or walk your way into a forward fold and let it end. One more round. Inhale for a half forward fold, arms over your head or along your body. Your expression, your alignment. Lift through the arches of the feet to bring the inside of your legs into the game. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come into a standing pose. Good. From there, drop the arms past your body down. Shift the weight into your left foot and let the right foot hover for a moment. Okay. Bring the knee in towards the chest for the gravity to shift. The center of gravity to shift. The gravity itself doesn't shift, I think. Good. And then grab a hold of your big toe to send the leg forward. Good. Lift into the chest. Maybe there's a bend in your knee, that's fine. Your left hand can rest on the left hip bone. But see that your spine is still the center line here. And it's still the vertical line to the floor. Send the leg out to the right, opening out. Good, yes, amazing. And from there, leave it out and let go of the foot, the big toe. See if you can hover the foot there. Nice. And then bring it back in. Inhale the arms high and exhale to spill the weight forward. Move, pour the weight into the forward fold. And step back into our all fours. Exhale for cat. Or inhale for cow, whichever one you're landing in first, and that your bones take you in. Good. Keep the toes tucked. And in your cow, send the weight back, pour it back into your hips and heels. Lift the knees off the mat to crouch. Like you're a tiger that's about to pounce. Good. Lift the hips up. Downward dog. And look forward. Step. Maybe you want to hop even to a forward fold. Let it end. Ideally, you can close your eyes and see where the music takes you more inward through the layers of tissue, muscles, fluidity into the deepest layer of the aliveness of your bones. Inhale to lift. Send the arms forward, moving bottom up, inside out. So all the movements want to come from the inside, the depth of your bones. Exhale to fold. Outward towards your skin. Come up to standing in your own way and time. Bring the left knee in towards your chest, shifting the weight into the right foot first. Observing the shifts of gravity, and bring index and middle finger around the big toe. Lengthen the leg out. Move slowly but steadily. So while we're moving. And if you take moments of silence and stillness, take them very consciously. Good. Leg comes out to the side. Good. Keep a bend if you need to, that is perfectly fine. But for now, see if you can shift the weight so much into this right foot that you can let go of this left toe. Yes, I know, it's hard. And exhale, bring the left foot back in. And spill the weight forward into your forward fold. Plant the hands, step back. We're still rising, maintaining, flowing. This time in the all fours, keep the knees hovering. And from there, take cat and cow. Creating strength in the bones and the muscles around, engaging arms and shoulders, and send the weight back into the heels. Crouch. I know this is really hard on the thighs. And then inhale, let it rise high into downward dog. Good. And then come to an ending in your forward fold in your own way. Maybe you want to stay in downward dog. Maybe your downward dog is still flowing, shape-shifting. Whatever needs to come out, let it arise from the depth of your bones. And find your way, meet me in forward fold. And let it all drop off. Good. Close the eyes. And see if you can drop into the being of this pose, from the very essence of your alignment in your skeleton. Instead of doing a forward fold, see if you can become, in its full expression, this forward fold. And from here we roll back up into a standing position. Exhale, take chair pose. Sink the hips down, bend the knees. Good. Arms reach high first, drawing the navel, the lower ribs in. And let it radiate out from there, from the spine. Bring the arms behind the back. Make this become a starfish movement. So including all the limbs. Your hands meet behind the back, or you're holding onto the opposite elbows. Nice. And inhale to lift and fold forward. Release the bind and step back into a plank shape. Good. From this plank, shift the weight into the left hand, left foot. If you want, you can come down onto the left knee for a first side plank. And again, see if you can move from your center line, from the spine. Not sure if this is too loud now with the music. If not, tell me. Good. Exhale, come down into your plank again. Knees, chest, chin to the mat. Hips come down, chest comes forward. Find your cobra, baby cobra. And there, from here, slide the hands a bit further back. Tuck the toes. Bring the forehead down to the mat. And either via the knees or in a straight line, come back up to a plank. Yes, it's very hard, I know. Elbows into the body helps, but listen to your own alignment. Side plank on the right. So tip out on the right side, left arm comes high. Your feet can stack or they can be in a line, whichever works for you. Let the breath, inhale, coil you in, and the exhale radiate out into all the 6 limbs. So become aware where all 6 starfish arms are pointing and come back down into plank. Knees, chest and chin down. Inhale, hips come down, chest comes forward. Baby cobra, or if you want to express further, cobra, moving inward, out. Tuck the toes, bend the knees, push back into your downward facing dog. Good. Exhale lets you sink deeper into the bones. Bring the feet together, right leg lift, slow motion. Stack the hips and bend the right knee to open into the right side body. Good. If your left heel comes down to the mat, that's good. If not, also good. There's no need to have this heel on the mat. Inhale, tippy toe, and bring the right knee to the nose. Hover here for a moment, really rounding into the upper spine, moving apart the shoulder blades. And then pour the weight forward. Let this fluidity in your body guide the motion. And then plant the foot between the hands. Good. Left knee sinks down. Inhale, come up for a low lunge. Again, arms interlaced behind the back. Maybe reversed Anjali Mudra, maybe elbows. Good. And from here, let it morph to a high lunge. Coming up high, tucking the back toes, back heel is pushing back. Good. And then release the bind, plant the hands right and left of the foot. And then twist both feet onto the outside edge. So both toes of both feet point to the long side of the edge. Right arm comes high, lifts you up into side plank variation. Exhale, sink the hips, reach the arm back. So this is another very oceanic animal movement. You can become this octopus or this starfish. Good. Exactly, beautiful. Express into all 6 limbs. Let the movement come from the spine, rippling out into the limbs. Last one to lift. And then find your way back, framing the front foot. If you're still floating, keep floating and listen. Come back into high plank. Good. Knees, chest, chin down. Good. Inhale for a cobra and really express this cobra now. Come up higher than a baby cobra. Palms are on your mat, center chest through, and I know that I usually give very precise alignments, but if you now become aware of your unique bones and their alignment, see if this pose maybe finds a different expression for you. And from here you can let it spill out of this container of a cobra. You can let it become what it is and what it has to express for you. If it comes all the way down, if you bend knees, whatever it is that spills out of this cobra. And let it take shape to meet me in downward facing dog, but you can take your time to get there. Good. Second side, left leg lifts high and stack the hips, open. Left knee is bending. Inhale to lift onto the tippy toes, knee to nose. Crunch and float here, lift. Even higher, foot comes towards your buttocks. And then send the weight forward, pour it into a low lunge. Good. Hands behind the back, Anjali Mudra or elbows. Maybe you drop into this back bend. Enjoy this full expression for your spine and morph it into a high lunge. And then release the hands, plant them right and left of the front foot. Find into our twisted lunge. So outside edges of both feet. Left arm comes high together with the hips. Exhale. Drop it off. Let it fall inwards to a being state rather than just following a sequence. Good. Let the music carry you, or if it picks up the speed, and find back into a framed foot. Step back, high plank. And pour the weight through your vinyasa, knees, chest, chin. Inhale for a cobra and let it spill out from the container again here. So free movement comes from this container of a cobra that from there spills out into whatever arises for you. And I'll give you a few breaths to explore. Maybe you even going through a full other sequence. Maybe you coming to a moment of stillness. Maybe you keep flowing. And just meet me in downward dog. In your own time. Good. Look forward between the hands, step or hop. And let it end in the forward fold. And a moment of silence to let this drop. We're slowing down to get to the here, not there in the arms and limbs, but into the center line of your being. And then you can start to bring the smallest of movements back into your body to pour the weight into our chair pose, but you can take your time to get there. Maybe you go through a few other somatic expressions of your body, or you come straight into this chair pose. Good. Inhale to come to standing. Gentle back bend wherever your arms come into this back bend. If the energy rises through your body from the bottom up, let it rise. And inhale, arms come up, pour it forward. Step the feet back into high plank. Knees, chest, chin, or you can take a chaturanga, it's up to you. If you want to pick up the muscular action around your bodies. Inhale for cobra or upward dog. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Good. From downward dog, let the weight, the liquidity pour forward into a high plank, rippling through your spine. And there, bend the knees, arch the back, look forward and push the hips back up, downward facing dog. Let's do this again. Exhale to ripple the weight forward, pour it into the front body, into the hands. Bend the knees and send it back and high. If you find some resistance as we move more freely today, and see if you can just accept it and move with the resistance. Exhale to keep flowing between those two shapes. You can spill out of this container if you need to take it somewhere else. Good. Maybe you come onto the knees, maybe the knees come wide, maybe you want to sit back on the heels. But keep them moving, the flowing, the fluidity going. The fluids of our body are the connecting layer between muscles, bones, and the skin. And arrive in a downward dog with me. Let it drop off. Inhale onto the tippy toes and send the heels out to the left, bending the knees generously to ground the feet here. Send the fluidity, the liquidity back into your knees and hips. And right arm comes high for this awkward side lunge, side plank, sorry. Good. And then start to lengthen the legs without the feet lifting, hips are lifting. Good. Yes, nice, Layla. Exhale, come down, push back into a downward dog. Take one of our high plank, downward dog combinations, flowing through. And when you arrive in downward dog, pour the weight into the other side. Heels come out to the right, bend the knees, send the hips back, sending the buttocks out. Left arm comes high. Good. And then start to lengthen the legs, lifting the hips high. Good. Exhale, come down. And downward dog. If you want to flow again through this high plank, tabletop floating combination, go for it. And come meet me in downward dog. For one breath, let it drop off. Find back into the bones of your rib cage, how they expand under your breath, into the pelvis that is now spilling forward. Inhale, the right leg comes high. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Good. Option for wild thing. Drop the right foot back, left foot twists to the end of the mat. Good, yes, Daniela. Amazing. Good stuff, girls. Good. Lift into the hip bones, the thigh bones, lift you high. Exhale, come down. Keep the right leg floating. Three-legged. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. And lengthen the leg out to the side to come into this fallen star shape. So right foot plants, left arm lifts high. Good. The opposite of the fallen or wild thing. Good. And come back out. Right knee comes high. Good. Exhale, knee to nose and step the foot through. Good. Knee comes down, low lunge as we know it from before. Good. Arms behind the back. Good. Wander through high lunge. And send the weight forward to come into warrior three. Arms still behind your back, holding the elbows or not. Or maybe Anjali Mudra. Exhale, step the left foot back and come into a warrior two. So left heel comes down, arms come out. Good. Draw circles with the arms, so small circles with the hands, but the movement's coming from the humerus, this bone in your upper arm, rotating in your shoulder joints. Good. Arms are parallel to the floor, change sides. Nice. And then lengthen the front leg. Good. Arms come high, left hip twist forward to come into this Parsvottanasana prep. Good. And then exhale, bring the left hand to the right shin, right arm comes high for a twisted Trikonasana. If there's a block nearby you, do that with a block. Or you can use the floor like Nicole, amazing. Right arm high. Okay, twisting, shifting the bones towards each other in your legs. There's like a magnetism in your legs that pulls both femurs towards each other. Okay. And then we transition into Ardha Chandrasana, so windmill the arms around, right arm comes down, left arm comes high, front knee bends gently. Right hand in front of your right foot, let the left foot float. Good. Beautiful. Ardha Chandrasana. And from here, bring the left knee in, come up to standing, maybe helping with a block. Good. Left knee in. Index and middle finger, grab a hold of the big toe again, lengthen the leg out in front of you. Good. And bring the leg out to the side. Nice. And then let it go, float it for a moment and drop it down, planting it next to the right foot. And then spill your weight forward into a forward fold and let it all end. Let it drop off. See which bones are pulling your attention, their aliveness. Yet their most solid state. Plant the hands, step back into your high plank. Beginning again, we're starting to arise. Send the weight forward, knees, chest, chin, or a chaturanga. Inhale up for cobra or upward dog. Exhale, spill this container into the next downward dog. Arrive. Before you continue, left leg lift high. Stack the hips, open, bend the knee. Option for wild thing, or you can stay in this bent leg, three-legged downward dog. If you take wild thing, see that your left foot can ground. Let the gravity be there and the hips float. So it's an interplay between lift and gravity. Exhale, left hand comes down. Left knee in towards the right elbow. Just twist right into this fallen star. Left leg comes out to the side. Good. Right arm high. Good. Nice. And exhale, come out. Left knee high again. Left leg. Exhale, knee to nose. And step it through. Right back knee comes down. Inhale, come up. Interlace the arms behind the back. Anjali Mudra or elbows. Tuck the toes, lift up, high lunge. Good. And then from here, open up into a warrior 2. Oh no, sorry, we missed warrior 3. Back. Lift the back leg off, keep the arms interlaced behind the back. Warrior 3 first. Let the back leg rise. The bones in your back leg are floating against gravity. Step it back, slow motion. And arrive into this warrior 2. Good. Circles with your arms. Let the center of gravity pull you down. Coming into your unique alignment. So we fight the idea of there being one perfect alignment for each body in this pose. Your bones determine how this is aligned. Inhale, the arms come high. Twist the right hip forward, lengthening the front knee. Good. Nice. And then exhale, right hand comes towards the left shin, left arm comes high. And find a moment of quiet, of stillness to draw back into this inward out approach. The idea of initiating the movement from the center of your bones and let it ripple out into the muscles and skin for expression. Good. And from there, big transition. Bring the arms out, open. Left hand comes in front of the left leg. Bend the left knee and float into Ardha Chandrasana. Good. If in any of these poses your expression wants to be deeper or simpler, you can listen to that. Let the gaze also follow this intuitive sense of your body. Good. And then from there, transition, bring the right knee in towards the chest, floating up into standing. Grab a hold of the big toe and lengthen the leg out in front of you. Good. Inhale, bring the leg out to the side. And then let go of the foot, float it there for another breath. And then step it in back to the left foot and spill the fluidity, the weight forward into a forward fold. Arrive. Finish, let it drop off. You can stick to this container of a forward fold, or if you need anything else for this sequence to finish and find an end, you can come into seated or standing, or maybe you even need more movement, but see if you can find your ending to it. And then before we come to a close, step the hands down again, let it rise again into this forward fold, whatever shape you are in. Let's begin one other cycle, plant the hands. Bring everything back into this sensation of arising from inside out. Step the right foot back, left foot back for high plank. Pour the weight through your vinyasa, your choice. And meet us in downward dog. Again, spill the weight forward into a high plank. Push back into downward dog. Let the heels fall out to the left. Grounding both feet solidly. Ground into the gravity. Let it draw you in. Bend the knees. And right arm comes high. And take this expression of a side plank further. If you want to bring the right leg off the mat, you can bring the right foot inside the left thigh for support, or you can let it float out like a starfish. Good. The idea really is to have the left foot grounded firmly on the mat. Good. And exhale, spill out into a downward dog and let it fall off. Let it end and go with whatever arises. And then ripple forward again, let it rise again. Emerge into another sequence of movement. Bend the knees, hips are high. And heels spill out to the right side. Let your body shape shift into the side plank on the right. In your own time, maybe you need to slow everything down even more. Left leg lifts to support through touching the inner right thigh or floating like a starfish. Good. And then let it fold inward again, fluids pour back into a downward dog. And find an ending to this. And let it drop further, maybe come onto the knees for a child's pose or just a seated. To let it inward out unfold. And if again there is resistance to this very somatic way of practicing, to this very somatic expression of shapes and containers, maybe you can explore what sits behind this resistance. Inhale to come back up to a seated position. And sit down, keeping one leg bent and the left or right heel, doesn't matter which side you're on, next to your hip. So a half virasana. Good. Bend the right knee and grab a hold of this foot with both hands. Inhale to lift and then kick the foot forward, let it lengthen out in front of you. If there's a bend, keep the bend, that's fine. We just want to prepare for a forward fold. So lift and arise again. Another round of cycling, but everything has to have an end. So we're now emerging, let the leg go and float it forward. And float with it to spill the weight forward into a forward fold. Staying. Your leg can stay gently bent, it doesn't have to be fully straight. Find your alignment of this pose. Rather than straining into reaching your foot, see what actually serves the bones in your body. And inhale to lift. Bring both legs forward. And for a moment find an ending. Let it drop off. Good. Settling back into this deepest sense, into the bone marrows where your blood cells are formed, part of this fluidity of your body that carries information from inward out into the being state of here. Bend the right knee and bring the right foot past your body, or the other leg, just whichever one you haven't done. And arise again. Let it float up one last time into the being of this pose. Grab a hold of the left foot and send the foot forward, lifting the chest towards the foot. If you close your eyes, you can maybe sense your bones in this pose, how they allow you to shapeshift, how their integrity is structure of every somatic form we take. Arise, stay, and then spill it forward, let the foot go. Maybe bending the knee and folding over this front leg. Staying in this heightened state of bone awareness. And inhale to lift back out of it. And in your own way, spill into a shape on your back to drop it all off. And use the process to get there as part of the journey to fall back out of the cycle, to give it an end. Closing your eyes and reversing the process of awareness, focusing on the skin layer. And crawling beneath into a layer of fluidity, of connective tissue, and deeper into muscles. And from there, carry your awareness into the skins of your bones, which are covered in nerve endings. And feel their heaviness, their density drawing you down. If there's any last form, shape, pose you want to take, it can be yoga, it can be anything else, you can do that now. Or if you want to rest in this ending, into the pure beingness of this last pose. Draw your attention to your spine, the endings and the center of your spine, sort of behind your navel. And see if you can from there spiral the ending out into all of the 6 limbs, into the tail end of your spine, into the top crown of your head. And let it ripple out into the legs, knees and feet. Stay longer in your Shavasana. You can do this if you want to come to a seated pose in your own way. Spill your moved body back into movement. using the time and space that you've created now to do this in your own very unique way. Close your eyes once more. Bring the hands into Anjali Mudra to your forehead. Speak your own silent grace and thank you for the teachings of yoga we get to share. Bring them to your heart space. Loka samasta sukhini bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti for peace, peace for the things outside, peace for the things inside, and for the things I can't control. Jai Ma, namaste.